between Mamelodi Sundowns and Orlando Pirates.
From the first blast of the whistle till the end, it was an adrenaline burst between the both sides.
And that shows how competitive the South African league is, because while watching that game, you can easily tell that no, this is the El Clasico of African football.
Mamelodi Chiefs United lost to Amazulu by 3 goals to 0.
It was a nice one. Both of them took the ball to themselves, but the Amazulus, they took advantage of the opportunity and they scored.
I feel like Sterling Nwabali has overstayed in South African league and he has overstayed in Chippa United.
Who is his agent that can look for a better club for him rather than him being staying put in Chippa United?
Nwabali is really going down gradually, and if he continues like this, after Chippa United, if they go relegation, either he go with them or another smaller club will be down to go for. If not, no big team want to sign him.
Durban City and Kaizer Chiefs.
After the reign of Jomo Cosmos, remember some time ago, Jomo like 18-20 years. Yes, Jomo, that man actually took that club to a different dynamics and all of that. But you see, Kaizer Chiefs is a big name.
You cannot have such name and still languish in the bottom of a league.
Kaizer Chiefs are a bigger team in all football ramifications compared to Durban City.
Winning the match against Durban is not a surprise for me. I need them to repeat that severally.
Welcome back to EVO SPORTS. There were lots of matches played over the weekend in the PSL League in South Africa. So I'm going to read out the results for you. The Durban City versus Kaizer Chiefs on Friday. Kaizer Chiefs took the day by winning them 1-0. Then on Saturday, Chiefs United hosted Amazulu, which they lost 3-0. Then Polokwane played out a 1-1 draw with Richards Bay. Orbit defeated Magesi by 3 goals to 1. Mamelodi Sundowns played out a 1-1 draw with the Orlando Pirates. Then Golden Arrows defeated Gallants 4 goals to 0. Then Galaxy defeated Stellenbosch by 2 goals to 0. Chima, we are putting most of our interest on the game between Mamelodi Sundowns and Orlando Pirates. But I have good young men with me here that can break down the results and discuss about the ball for us here to listen. I have Mr. Albert by my right and Mr. Chima by my left. Albert, let's go down to the game between Mamelodi Sundowns and Orlando Pirates. What do you say about the outcome of the game?
Yes, you see, that game, you can see smile all over my face. You see, the game between Mamelodi Sundowns and Orlando Pirates, I deem it like a Manchester derby between the game Manchester United versus Manchester City. The energy, the tense, the adrenaline, the crowd, the stadium, and everything that is connected to that match. That is what happened over the weekend between Sundowns and Kaizer Chiefs. From the first blast between Sundowns and Orlando Pirates, from the first blast of the whistle till the end, it was an adrenaline burst between the both sides. They took the game to themselves. They showed that they were ready to play. And at the end of the day, though it ended a stalemate, but the visiting team, which were the Orlando Pirates, they lost. There was a self-finish from one of their players that is supposed to make the goal 2-1. They lost some chances in which Ron Williams rise to the occasion. But that game makes me understand the degree at which South African football has grown. Yes, because if you look at the stadium that day, the seats were covered to the brim. People were standing all over. If not for the placard, the board around the stadium, people would have encroached and got to the pitch itself. So the energy, the South African league, everything that has to do with that league. Now, one of the things I'm asking myself is, what is bringing such amount of tumultuous crowd to come and watch this game? It was so evident in the game because it was an entertaining game. From the first blast to the ending of the game, it was no dull moment. It really, I did that game yesterday. I can even compare it to some league abroad, like Norway, Sweden, even Russia. Yes, most of these Scandinavian countries, even some part of Central, even Polish league. You understand? Because that game actually brought out, should I say, one of the glories of African football, the level at which African football has grown. Because if other countries are failing to grow at least one person or two countries are bringing Africa to the world map. Are you getting the picture? So I love the game. It's not the 1-1 that actually thrilled me. It is the way they played, the organization, the cameramen. Some of the cameras I even saw there that day was Premiership standard.
Yes.
Female, male, everybody, the coaches, the way they were orchestrating their team, the way they were putting everything in order, trying to tutor their mentor, their players and all of that. It was top notch. I don't know how to express how elated I am on that game I actually watched. So let's budget a little for other discussions.
Okay, over to Chima. Chima, how did you see the game between Mamelodi Sundowns and Orlando Pirates?
Yeah, we said something the last time about the South African League, and then this South African League, I used to say this thing, and I've said it repeatedly, that if Real Madrid and Barcelona are playing, and then they are playing Sundowns and Kaizer Chiefs or Pirates, these guys will go and watch that Kaizer Chiefs Pirates Sundowns match. You alone in the country will be the one watching the Real Madrid and Barcelona because you are more familiar. Not that they don't know about this team, but they derive joy in going to the stadium to watch their games. If you saw the game from far, you will see how exciting it was, their atmosphere, just like he said. Now, look at the game. Sundowns and Pirates. Sundowns are topping the group, the league. Then we have Pirates. I think Pirates are sitting third on the table. Now, Sundowns dominated the play most of the time because they played home. Then they scored first in the 20 minutes to Peter Shalulile, their striker, who has scored about 3 goals now. Then we have then before Pirates came back to equalize the goal. From Pirates side, it was a good one for them because losing out in the CAF Champions League to FC Nupopo with penalty shootout, coming back to play this game this time around now, and against Sundowns, and Pirates have not been really stable in the league somehow. So competing against a team like Sundowns shows that the title race in the PSL is not just one for Sundowns alone. So it shows that Pirates also have something to offer in the league because coming to Pretoria to come and play Sundowns and then going on with 1 point, and if not for that last chance that they missed, they will have won Sundowns in that home. So, but it was a very good game for both of them. South Africans are known, when I know about South African game, very, very well. I love them because of the skills they display on the pitch, because of most of those things. That's what they call Ishibobo. When those guys are playing, all those Ishibobo, all those skills they play, those are kind of the things that attract those kind of JJ Okocha football those days. Yeah, those showboating. Those are some of the things that attracted fans, that made people always want to go and watch the game. Then you could see the pitch condition is not bad, very, very okay for them. The stadium, the cameras, everything. Statistically, the game was very, very okay to the camera also. So people will be longing and will be waiting to watch games like that in South Africa. So it's not like other leagues where you struggle to see people. And then when they want to play this game, it's as if every weekend, it's as if like it's a Christmas weekend. People are anticipating to go and support their team. You hear the Vulela, the sound of Vulela, you hear so many sounds, you hear people wearing Pirate jersey, wearing Kaizer Chiefs jersey, wearing Sundowns jersey, because people want to go and support their game. Now, in that game, Sundowns had about 63.9% ball possession to compare to Pirates, which was 36.1 ball possession. We have shots at goals. 7 attempts by Sundowns, 3 attempts by Orlando Pirates. Then, before we talk about the tactical play, Sundowns dominated the play because they control the ball. That is why they have been called the Brazilian, because they like to romance the ball. They love to keep the ball from their goalkeeper, Roland Williams, to the attack. And it's good that their striker is scoring, Peter Shalulile, and then their top striker is Ikrams, also who have scored about 6 or 7 goals in the league now. So it's a very good game. It was a very good game for them. Very good game, honestly. And that shows how competitive the South African league is, because why watching that game, you can easily tell that, no, this is the El Clasico of African football.
Okay, but what you thought to me, I saw that, I believe that Orlando Pirates played better because they had more, like 4 to 5 chances that they would have buried. And if they had buried those chances, they would have won Orlando, they would have won Mamelodi Sundowns. You know, their goal came in the 35 minutes by Semiran Dancing. He scored in the 35 minutes. But the goal that he scored was a world-class goal, a spectacular goal, very spectacular goal. compared to that of Mamelodi Sundowns.
Full volley.
Yes, I love the goal. But I'm looking at it that Orlando Pirates is sitting third on the log. And they've only played 9 matches. They're on 19 points. Why Mamelodi Sundowns, they played 11 matches. They're on 22 points. Somebody that has played 19 matches, if he wins the two matches that is left, he will be on 6 points, right? Then to 19, he will be on 25 points, automatically topping Sundowns. So, but by saying that, let's look at the log in PSL. Mamelodi Sundowns has played 11 matches, scoring and we go 12 goal difference and 22 points. Sekokune has played 10 matches, the goal difference 8 with 20 points. Then Pirates has played 9 matches with 7 goal difference and 19 points. Kaizer Chiefs they've played 10 matches, 4 goal difference with 19 points. These are the 4 best teams. Then we talk about our own brothers team, Nwabali. Nwabali's Chipas United lost to Amazulu
3 goals.
by 3 goals to 0. What can you say about that game?
I feel like Chipa United are not really doing well this time around, and then either they change coach or they need to up their games, because if they continue like this, they might be relegated at the end of the season. And then the point of view from our own goalkeeper, Stanley Nwabali, I feel like Stanley Nwabali has overstayed in South African League and he has overstayed in Chipa United, because I feel like with his level and his standard, if he knows what he's doing, if a team like Kaizer Chiefs, Pirates, Sundowns, of course, we have South African goalkeeper. There's no way he will go to Sundowns except you want to sit on the bench. Then, but when we talk about Pirates or Kaizer Chiefs, then at worst, Stellenbosch, at worst, if you cannot keep for the top 4 teams in the PSL league, then you're going to keep for a Chipa United that is not a big team in South Africa.
That's last on the log.
That is last on the log. I feel like it does not tell well about him, and it does not tell well for the Super Eagles as a goalkeeper that Nigeria is planning to go to the World Cup with, and that is keeping a first-choice goalkeeper. If you are keeping in the Nigerian league now, it will have been a different case that you are keeping in your country, just like the way Rollins is keeping for South Africa. You going away to South Africa, and then you are keeping for Chipa United. I feel like, to me, I don't really. It's good.
But
before
he's keeping for the money.
But now, nobody has dropped somehow. Apart from saving penalties, nobody has dropped in terms of open play game since he lost his parents. I feel like maybe emotionally, maybe mentally, maybe psychologically, there's something that is dealing with this guy right now that we don't know. Because if you see the way he has been keeping for Super Eagles recently, having issues with the Super Eagles player, shouting at opponents, shouting at a teammate, even fighting with opponents. Some of these antics as a goalkeeper, you can't do like this and get a better club in Europe. You can't do like this and get a better, because most coaches will be afraid. Whenever you are keeping, you are making your coaches to feel so pressure that they don't know your next step. You catch a ball, opponent is coming, you begin to fight with the opponent. Football is a game of contact. Football, we all know the work of a goalkeeper in the post, and then the way Nwabali has been doing and the keeping, is not really selling himself to the best teams in PSL and in Europe. Even if he does not get a team in Europe, at least all these African countries, top African team, is supposed to, with his level, not African country, keeping for South Africa, the Super Eagles, with that profile, if he knows what he's doing, he's supposed to be keeping for a top floor.
First 3
yes, in PSL or in other African countries, you understand? So because as a stand now, Nwabali does not have that flair in post as a goalkeeper. If he can't compare Nwabali to Maduka Okoye, you understand me now? Because now Africa most time they like these keepers with size, but despite having size, you still also have to have flair in the post as a goalkeeper. That flexibility, that agility, it matters in low. Yeah, you have a long key, you have long throw, but speaking, fighting, quarreling with your defender, there's no way why they keep you at the post is because anybody that beats the defender, you are the one necessary to save or to protect. So if the ball beats the defender and you begin to shout at your defender, begin to fight your defender, then what is your job? Are you telling them that you came to the field to just stand in the post without having attempt on your goal post? No. Your main reason why you are shining, in fact, you should be praying that let attempt come that you will save, so that people can see your work.
That you are good.
You understand? So Nwabali is really going down gradually, and if it continues like this, after Chipa United, if they go relegation, either you go with them or another smaller club will be down to go for. If not, no big team want to sign it. But for Chipa United, they really need to do something, because if not, they will be relegated, and that will not be good for them.
Albert, Chipa United 0, Amazulu 3. What's your take about this game?
Yes,
That game.
first and foremost, I want to really applaud how developed the South African League has gone to. You know, there's nothing like most home win syndrome. That's why Amazulu could go to Chipa
And beat
to
them.
trounce them 3-0. Now, I watched that game. It was a nice one. Both of them took the ball to themselves, but the Amazulus, they took advantage of the opportunity and they scored. And don't forget, the Chipa United from the first, I think, 25 minutes, they lost the penalty. Yes, they lost the penalty. And maybe that penalty they lost actually drilled their performance at the end of the day. But looking at our own Nwabali, first and foremost, a Super Eagles first choice goalkeeper, I think for like 2 years plus now, first choice goalkeeper. I want to ask, who is his agent? Because when Nwabali was invited newly to the national team,
He kept
very well for over a year, he has been consistent, keeping clean sheet, making wonderful saves. I keep wondering, who is his agent?
I don't know.
Yes, who is his agent that can look for a better club for him rather than him being staying put in Chipa United? Now, another thing again is who he is. Does he really know who he is as a goalkeeper? Don't forget, in a pitch of play, apart from you wearing the captain's armband, a goalkeeper is naturally a leader in every football team.
Yes, it's true. Because you are the one seeing everything.
You are the one seeing everything. Now, because a lot of people have started labeling him some certain kind of names, being so arrogant. Last time we learned that he had issues with NDD when he pushed him and all of that. It is not good for a goalkeeper, a first choice goalkeeper, because that thing can actually make you divide the team. Now the thing is, if a Super Eagles first choice goalkeeper is manning the goalpost for Chipa United, which are relegation threatened, now
because they are the last on the law.
Now I want to say this with all boldness that, you see, sometimes when you are content where you are, it is because you feel you are okay where you are, and whatever thing that comes, you're going to have it. Now, it is because he knows he's going to be the next best Super Eagles first choice goalkeeper, come rain, come shine. Now, but we used to invite Maduka Okoye because that guy had one or two mistakes he made back then. Don't forget, Nigeria is one of the countries that is always quick to criticize, especially when it comes to football. But we've been watching that guy in faraway Italy, West Stadium, week in, week out. He's a first choice goalkeeper, a black man for Udinese, for in a white man's land. He goes a very long way. Every weekend he's the one on the pitch. Even when he had an injury and he came back, he collected his first choice. You understand? So it shows how much experience he has. Nwabali do not have any competition in the Super Eagles team.
That's why he's misbehaving.
That's one of the reasons why he's misbehaving. Now, if you're looking at it from different perspective, for Nigeria to perform well at the World Cup, we need to actually checkmate whom we are inviting into the national team. Now, Nwabali has character issues. The club is playing for. There is issues there as well because the Chipa United is manning the post now. Do not have that character that is required for a first choice Super Eagles goalkeeper. So I want to call on his agent or whoever his agent is. I believe one way or the other he's going to hear our voice from EVO SPORTS TV. Let him look for a better agent. If your agent is not performing or looking for a better club, except you want to remain there. And if you remain there, trust me, Super Eagles will do without you very soon. Because there are other goalkeepers there out there that are competitive. Because if you are using Nwabali as a first choice goalkeeper, how about Olonuleke? South Africa is an African team. It's an African. Chipa United is an African team. So other goalkeepers too, the second and third choice, they are also in Nigeria. Let them try them as well. Because the way he was hungry before Johnny Akpeyi was there, he misbehaved. A lot of keepers came to the national team. Uzoro, he misbehaved as well. Okay, shouldn't I call it? Sorry, maybe it's not misbehaving. Maybe they make 40 grave mistakes. And crowd came after them, the fans came after them. They now tried Nwabali. Don't forget when Nwabali man in that goalpost for the first 3, 4, 5 months. Everybody was applauding him. Now he's a shadow of himself. Now he feels nothing they saw. I will get it. Whenever Super Eagles want to play, I'll be the man to play. So I believe that's one of the things, few issues I feel is going to affect him come the next tournament we're going to face the world. That's if we qualify for the World Cup, but we have been optimistic that we're going to qualify.
Chima, do you still have anything to say about Chipa United? Let us go back to
the Chipa to add up to what he said. He said, who is his manager or his agent? If I believe that, firstly, if Nwabali, his agent might still be part of the people that is still sustaining in the Super Eagles.
Yes.
Because if he does not have a very strong agent with the Super Eagles, there was no way Nwabali will still be
A member of the Super Eagles.
even he might be a member, but he might not be that first choice. Because maybe, probably, allegedly, his agent might also be a very influential someone. That is why Nwabali can have the goals to behave like that and still keep the next man. Because if not, you can't tell me that the way Nwabali has been keeping, if he does not have an influential manager, yes, sometimes as a player, if other players could be benched in a game, and then let us try new player. How come about Nwabali that is keeping it for Cheaper United? Yes, so definitely there's somebody behind him, or that with his agent is really working tirelessly. And then in South Africa as well, before the season started, they rumored him that he wanted to sign for Kaizer Chiefs and then Orlando Pirates. But unfortunately, the deal did not go through. Why? The agent might have tried severally. Maybe we might, and it doesn't work. He does not work, and maybe also we can attribute it to his performance and his character as well. Because as it's happening like this, we are saying it. Other people too are saying it. Other managers and coaches are saying it. As Eritrea is like this, he might have contemplated on so many things too, like the way this guy is keeping. Because look at those matches that he have kept for Super Eagles, at least of late now. See the way he has behaved in those games. Yeah. So imagine having that kind of shit. So definitely the main thing is that there are other goalkeepers there. If we did not invite Nwabali to come and try, we wouldn't have known that okay, it's good. But now that it's not performing as usual, they should give, okay, look at Adelaide that is keeping in Cyprus. They have not given that guy, they gave him a chance, maybe 1 or 2 matches, and he kept well. So if they give, one thing about goalkeeper is confidence. Even if you have a third choice keeper, if you begin to play that third choice keeper, you see me, confidence will begin to come higher. So I feel like they are sticking to Nwabali too much because of 1 or 2 things, and nobody knows exactly that. That is why he kept on behaving the way he's behaving.
Feeling that he will still maintain.
Yes, he will still maintain. But as time goes on, definitely Nigeria will not continue like, because Maduka Okoye is already available. Like you said, over 2 months, he did not play. He came back, he retained his share. Maduka will have been an Inter Milan goalkeeper by now. If not for just one slight mistake that happened during the transfer, Inter Milan have almost signed him to come and keep for them, because Soma is already old. He's already aging. You understand me now? So, and for now, I still believe that with the way he's keeping now, in the next season, Inter Milan will still come back for him. So Maduka Okoye, in the post, he have that flair, he have that flexibility, he have that agility, he have that composure. He does not get angry easily, because as a goalkeeper, you don't need to get angry easily. Like you said, he's always a leader. As a goalkeeper, you're a leader. You're the one that sees, you see everything happening on the pitch, and you can easily control your defense. So if you have an issue with your partner that you are fighting again with, and then you can fight your defensive midfielder, fight your center back, then that way you are scattering the team. So definitely somebody is behind Nwabali still being in the Super Eagles up to now. If not, even all this Uzo and Akpe, they didn't do up to this before they do away with them.
Anyway,
sorry, let me just drop a little bit of share butter to what Chima has said, because it's very, very good to identify this factor. You know, back then in the Super Eagles, while we were growing up, late 80s, early 90s to be specific, they said they used to have cabals.
Yes, in the team.
Strong cabals in the team. And there's a particular way, there's a cabal that will really like you. You must be invited. And we learned that in the NFL before it was metamorphosed to NFL and NFF. If one person under is strongly behind them, they will invite you. Now, fast forward to the issue of Nwabali. We're talking about agent that Chima actually buttressed. Now, Nigeria is not owned by one country. We are saying it now for the NFF and everybody handling every important position that has to do with sports that we know brings joy to us, and over 120, 50 million Nigerians. That anything that has to do with football in Nigeria or any sport, they shouldn't come and introduce anything like cabal in it. So it's so obvious that for you not to invite Maduka Okoye, a first teamer, for over how many years now, you've not invited. Okay, they have invited him of late, that is always on the bench. Now, there must be problems somewhere, because if you put the two of them by performance, if you put the two of them by club side, Maduka Okoye is up there.
Far up.
Maduka was first invited to the Super Eagles, maybe like 2 years thereafter before Nwabali. So we don't know why Maduka Okoye is not even given a chance to still show what he can do. How about other Super Eagles goalkeepers? Even in friendly matches, you still put Nwabali on the goal post. You've not tried other goalkeepers. So anything that has to do with
maybe it's paying his dues.
That's why I'm just getting borrowing a point from what Chima is saying. So if his agent or he feels, or anybody in Super Eagles, whomsoever feel he has an agent that can always maneuver him to the Super Eagles team, very, very soon nemesis of this world will catch up with you.
Anyway, that is the case of
Because it's a way of destroying Nigerian
that's the
football.
case of Mamelodi and Chipa United. Those go to the game between Durban City and Kaizer Chiefs. The Kaizer Chiefs sit fourth on the log with 19 points, and it was only 1-0 that they won Durban City, and the goal came in the 88th minute by Flávio Antonio da Silva. I think he's a Brazilian. So, what do you see of that game?
There's not much to say about that game. You see, the name Kaizer Chief rings a lot of bell. I think in South Africa, 4 or 5 after the reign of Jomo Cosmos. Remember, some time ago, Jomo like 18, 20 years.
Yeah.
Yes, Jomo, that man actually took that club to a different dynamics and all of that. But you see, Kaizer Chief is a big name.
It's a brand. It has been.
Yes,
it has been in
compared to this Durban City. But the game ended 1-0. But
it was an away game.
It was see, if you know how to play this game of football, that's why we're talking about the Nigeria own win mentality syndrome.
You must win
in Champions League games, for you to win Champions League, you must go away and win, come home and win. Knockout stages, you go away and win, you come home and win before you can win the Champions League diadem. So in modern football, aside corruption, bribing the officials, if you are a good team, you will prove it on the pitch of play. I get the picture. So Kaizer Chiefs are a bigger team in all football ramification compared to Durban City.
Yeah,
but one of the things that is noteworthy of is in modern football, names don't actually play it. The name that can still play it is name that knows how to scout for players and keep the consistency of how they buy players going every season in, season out. Are you getting it? So if Mamelodi Sundowns has been performing for several years, Orlando Pirates has been performing for several years, other teams should ask, what do they do to maintain a particular set of players? Even when they are fizzling out, other younger ones are coming in the same, you understand, capacity at which the other players whom have left have played the same way they are playing. So that game, there's nothing much for me to talk about. It's just that Durban City, Kaizer Chiefs won 1-0. So even though they have won 5-0, it wouldn't have been a surprise team to me.
Okay, Kaizer Chiefs has played 10 matches. They sit fourth on the log with 19 points. So if they win their next match, they'll be on 22 points, apart with Mamelodi Sundowns. Chima, Durban City, Kaizer Chiefs.
There's nothing much to talk about the game. I'm just so disappointed in Kaizer Chiefs in the past few years. Because last season, they finished, I think, 10th or so in the league. And in the PSL league, I was expecting that the title race should be between Kaizer Chiefs, Sundowns, Orlando Pirates, and maybe Stellenbosch. You understand? So you cannot have such name and still languish in the bottom of a league. So because Kaizer Chiefs is one of the brands of South African football league. I remember those days of Intumule Kune when he used to keep for Kaizer Chiefs. Yeah. Football, very, very sweet. And some of their players have forgotten their name. Key players those days, even Shabalala those days, for Kaizer Chiefs, very fantastic players. So, but these days now they are struggling to go back to that glory days. Now Sundowns have taken over. Stellenbosch is coming up. So I feel like Kaizer Chiefs is a traditional team, South Africa. So they need to, in order not to lose their fans, in order not to lose their tradition, their stamp in the PS, they need to find a way by almost at least by this season from 1 to 4th. They shouldn't go below that position. So winning the match against Durban is not a surprise for me. I need them to repeat that severally over every weekend. That is what I want them to be doing.
But I'm seeing a four-horse race. Yeah, Mamelodi Sundowns, Sekhukhune, Pirates, and Kaizer Chiefs. The margin is not much. Mamelodi Sundowns have played 11 games with 22 points. Sekhukhune has played 10 games with 20 points. Pirates has played 9 games with 19 points, while Kaizer Chiefs has played 10 games with 19 points. These three games that have different outstanding games, if they should win their outstanding games, automatically they will stop Mamelodi Sundowns. But I don't believe that time will tell.